Hey folks, Pastor Andy coming to you again with a daily briefing. Today is Thursday, March 26th, and just a few thoughts to share. So I'll ask, how you doing? How you holding up? We hope you're doing okay. Maybe some of you are growing out your quarantine in captivity look like I am. I'm not sure if that's going to stay or not, but anyways, hopefully you're finding things to do to occupy your time, to use your time wisely, to invest in your spiritual walk, encouraging others, maybe even getting some of those projects done at home that have been on the honey-do list for quite some time. We love you. We miss you. We want to let you know you're being prayed for on a regular basis. Every one of our elders, pastors, even a few other leaders, we actually have the whole worshiping congregation, members, regular attenders, divided among ourselves, and we are praying for you on a regular basis. So please be encouraged, and please let us know if there's anything we can be doing for you to bless you during this time. A couple thoughts on Philippians 4:4. In this passage where Paul is writing to the Philippians, he says these words: rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I'll say it, rejoice. Now, a couple things that are interesting about this passage. Now, the idea of rejoicing and joy is laced throughout Paul's letter to the Philippians. But in this one little verse where he says, rejoice in the Lord always, again, I'll say it, rejoice, a couple things stand out. First, that he says it twice. You may or may not know that in biblical writing, repetition is a way of emphasis. We have underlining, circling, scribbling, exclamation points, whatever. But one of the ways they did that, even in the economy of writing, because they didn't have a ton of papyrus, didn't have a lot of ink, there was an economy to that. If they really wanted to emphasize something, they would say it twice. For instance, when I preached on Isaiah 6, you may remember I talked about this very thing when they say holy, holy, holy. There's an emphasis of saying it 3 times. In the New Testament, when Jesus says, verily, verily, or other translations, truly, truly, I say to you, Jesus is saying to his hearers, hey, everything I say is important, but this is particularly important, and you really need to pay attention to this. So Paul really means it for us when he says, rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I'll say it, rejoice. And we can listen to a man like Paul. Paul is not someone who is writing these words, sitting in the Waldorf Astoria, eating a filet mignon wrapped in bacon, with garlic mashed potatoes and his favorite beverage. Paul, yes, he knew what it was to be on the top of the game. Pharisee of Pharisees, he was kind of at the height of that cultural ladder. But then, after his conversion to Christ, you got someone who's been kicked out of towns, who's been beaten, who's been flogged, who's been shipwrecked, who's been arrested, released, arrested again, released, who's been put into prison on house arrest. This is a man who knows what he's talking about when he says, rejoice in the Lord always. When he says always, we know that we can trust him, that whether it's a good circumstance or bad, there's reasons to rejoice. Whether we feel like it at the time or not, we can make a conscious effort to rejoice. We can think about the things that can't be taken away from us, like the goodness of God, the love of God, the redemption of God. In fact, just think about Paul's words to the Romans. What can separate us from the love of Christ? And he goes through all kinds of things when he says, neither height nor depth, nor angels or demons, nor anything else in all creation. And he lists a whole lot more than I just said. But nothing will be able to separate us from the love of God. So friends, no matter how much you're fretting during this time, no matter how much we're going through, there are always reasons to rejoice. And I want to make sure that we're encouraging one another in that. Well, one of the ways that we encourage one another is on Sunday mornings on a regular basis. Do you miss seeing each other yet? Do you miss greeting each other, catching up, things like that? I hope so. We should be missing one another during this time. Well, this Sunday, we'll have a chance to gather, although not in person, but our live stream should be back up and running without any issues. And we want to invite you 10 a.m. Sunday morning. And the links for both prayer meeting and Sunday morning live stream will continue to be posted. We'll repost them, make it as easy as possible. And we'll do that through our email. We'll do that through our Facebook page, and we'll do that on our website. So you can go any one of those three places. We'll make it really easy. You just click the links, and you'll be with us either Wednesday night for prayer meetings or Sunday mornings for worship for as long as this situation lasts. And I want to encourage you, if you know people who don't have somewhere online to watch, or people who wouldn't normally go to church, who might be just kind of going stir crazy, they're tired of watching Netflix or Amazon Prime, just maybe share the links. Share our webpage. Our webpage has all the links to everything we've been sharing, and that could be a good way to encourage folks and perhaps provide an opportunity for God to draw people unto himself, for the Holy Spirit to work in ways that we can't even imagine. So hopefully you are having a meaningful time, a productive time, and you're not getting discouraged in this. Again, remember, if there's any way that we can help, please reach out to us, heartland@heartlandlex.com. And until we see you online again, like Paul said, I will say to you, rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I'll say it, rejoice.